Okay, there we go. Well, hello, everybody. My name is Harlequin Murray. I'm your co-host this evening, as I am every Monday night with our team here, Team Ellen Winn. And I get the honor and pleasure of welcoming everybody. If you are new here this evening and you're joining us for the first time, welcome. We're excited to have you and get to know you and looking forward to working with you. But anyways, I get to introduce Miss Ellen, who is a very good friend of mine who's been a friend for over 20 years. And just a little bit about her. She's from Dallas, Georgia. She is a phenomenal business person. She's owned multiple businesses. She's owned a couple of restaurants. She's owned a limousine company for about 10 years now. She has been in the network marketing industry for quite a while. And she also has a strong background in training. So we're very fortunate that we get to have her as our trainer and our team leader. She's one of the top agents in DAC. So without further ado, Miss Ellen, go ahead and take it away.
Oh, thank you, Harlequin. I appreciate the intro and I appreciate you being my co-host every single week. Welcome, everyone. If this is your first time joining us, thanks for showing up for yourself and for your business here with DAC. We do these every Monday, giving you an opportunity to get any questions answered about anything that's going on with your DAC business. There are 5 meetings a week, Monday through Friday during the day, 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time at daczoom.com, hosted by our corporate team. And I know a lot of you are working and may not be able to attend those during the day. So we do this nighttime meeting every Monday, giving you the opportunity to plug in live and get any questions or concerns answered that might be going on with your DAC business. Now, outside of the daytime events on Monday through Friday, we also have 2 evening events besides our Team Zoom, and that is Tuesday nights and Thursday nights. We're doing a live business opportunity presentation, and that gives you an opportunity to be building your business. So tonight, what I want to share with you is talking about how recruiting and expanding your business by referring other agents is really the lifeblood of your business. I want you to think about this. If you, or as a whole, if we are not giving birth and having children as humanity, right? Then at some point humanity stops growing, right? And then we don't expand, and somewhere along the way we're going to die and go away. And that's the way our business is. If we're not giving birth to new agents in the form of recruiting, then our business is not growing and expanding, and it ends up dying because we don't have new blood coming into the business. So you really want to look at building your business and recruiting as a means of outreach into your community. Not only you being the one talking to to other people about the business services that we offer, but every time you refer our business to a new agent, you're tapping into a brand new market of business owners that we can reach out to and help, because every single person that we recruit gives an opportunity of a new circle of influence that they have. And that's really the key to growing our business. When I first got started with DAC, many of you may have heard my story, but the very first day when I saw DAC, I was so excited when I saw this business overview. First, I was exposed to it on a Facebook post through friends of mine that live in Dallas, Texas. Okay, here I am just outside of Atlanta, Georgia, and I happened to be scrolling through Facebook and I saw a live video post from a friend of mine, and he and his wife were telling the story about how they had just helped a small business owner get funding. That business owner needed funding, they couldn't get approved at their local bank, and DAC was able to help them. Now, mind you, this was almost 7 years ago, right? That they helped this small business owner. DAC has expanded our services, has expanded our network of of lending partners, but DAC was basically the same business it is today, just in the baby stages. They were telling their story about helping that business owner get funding, and in return, they shared that they had made a sizable commission. I believe it was over $4,000 that they shared in that story. Now, as I say this, we're going to talk about doing some social proof and you doing some videos and sharing your experience, but I want to remind you that we don't need to be making income claims, but I just want to share what they had shared with me that day. When I saw that, and I'm going, oh my goodness, they're making a huge commission on helping a business owner get money that they need, could get elsewhere. I need to know more about this. So I reached out to them after seeing that live video. I reached out and sent them a message and I said, hey, what are you guys up to? I saw your live stream video, and they sent me a link to their DAC page. Very similar. It was actually the same link, davidallencapital.com/partner/their ID number. It was very similar to the page that we have today, very similar presentation to what we have today, other than it has improved along the way, right? I watched the business opportunity presentation. I saw it and I'm going, oh my gosh, this is exciting. And back to my story on recruiting and giving birth to new agents. When I saw it, it immediately reminded me that a close friend of mine that I've been in business with for years, Harlequin also knows this gentleman because we've been in the same business together years ago when we first met in the network marketing space. He had just sent me a request to like his Facebook business page. Okay. And I had gone in before seeing DAC, I had gone in, looked at his request, and I always go over and check out the page before I like anything. I go look to see what it's all about. I'd gone through, read, and going, okay, cool. I like this. He's on a good path helping small business owners. So again, when I saw DAC, it immediately reminded me of him. So what did I do? I immediately sent a message back over and said, hey, Glenn, I saw your request to like your business page. I did as you requested. And by the way, looks like you're in business services. I just happened to run across a business that's offering something in the business to business space. It may or may not be a good fit to what you're already doing, but wanted to see if you're open to taking a look. He responded pretty quickly to that and he said, yeah, sure. What you got? I sent him a link to my partner page. Okay. Really very simple. Our business hasn't changed a whole lot other than getting better and better every single year. I sent him a link over to the partner page. He watched the business opportunity presentation just as I had. And he immediately responded saying, hey, I got a few questions. Well, I was brand new, just was getting signed up, barely had my link. I called my sponsors who had done the video presentation on Facebook. They were pretty new and they said, hang on, let me get somebody else on the phone. So we did the three-way calling upline to their enroller. And next thing we know, we had David Rutz, the founder of the company, on the phone with me and my guest that I was excited about sharing the business opportunity with. So we all got our questions answered from the horse's mouth, David Rutz, by using three-way calling. So guys, I share this story with you over and over again. It is literally how I got started with the AC. And that enthusiasm and that excitement and me just reaching out to one single person because of him and his influence and his network, I had over 300 people on my DAC team within the first 30 days of my business. Okay. It can happen for you that quickly. I know Harlequin can share stories where she's referred this business to someone who led to someone who led to someone, and all of a sudden had an explosion in her business with literally thousands of people in a very short period of time. So you never know who is going to see DAC, get excited about it, and run with it. But I do know this, if you're not talking about DAC and if you're not sharing DAC, it's not going to happen. Why? It's not going to happen because you're being a secret agent. So don't be a secret agent when it comes to the DAC. You got to share your excitement and enthusiasm. So on the sharing, David has asked that we share testimonials and that we do testimonials about how we've helped people. Also, I want to share my experience and some success stories that I've had. I've not been doing this lately. I've been sidetracked with other businesses. As Harlequin said, I have a limousine company. I also have an insurance agency that I just got off of the ground late last year. And some of you may know that I had an incident with an immediate family member that was hospitalized for a long period of time. And I'm not saying this for sympathy, just telling you guys where I've been and that I've been sidetracked. And just want to share that, hey, life happens to me just like it happens to you. So things have gotten in my way, and I have not made recruiting my top focus with DAC, but I've got to get back to that. Long story short, in that, I want to share the successes that I have had. Whatever it is that I'm marketing, I find that I have more success with whatever it is that I'm doing when I go live on Facebook. What does that mean? Well, I go into Facebook and I do a live stream, and I just do a quick 30-second to a couple of minute video talking about what it is that I'm doing, whether I'm looking for agents, whether it was our healthcare program, whether it is funding program, whether it is merchant processing and how we can save business owners. When you go live on social media, you hit a larger market of folks that are actually going to see your content because it pops up in everybody's notifications, letting them know that you're going live. If you're just making a standard post, only a handful of your followers are going to see what you're posting. But if you do a live stream, it pops up with a notification and alerts more people. So you have a lot more visibility. Plus, when you're doing lives and doing those live videos, it gives people the opportunity to see and hear from you in person. And people always do business with folks that they know, like, and trust. And the more times you're out there talking and doing that in person live video stream, sharing your story about DAC, our services, or our opportunity, then people have a better opportunity to get to know who you are. So, Harlequin, I know you and I have talked about some things that are going on. You've been doing some training with recruiting, and you've also got some information about what's going on in the small business world this month. So I want to pass the torch over to you. We like to keep these calls short. I've already run for 13 minutes here on my story tonight, so don't want to keep you much longer, but I know Harlequin had a few points that she wanted to make before we go to your questions, okay? All right, go ahead, Harlequin, take it away.
Oops, here, admitting one more person. Um, yeah, so I attended Eric Worre's training last week on, it was a Recruit One challenge, and he gave us several really good tips. Um, one of the things is to go and look at your phone, look at your social media, and even if you just spend 1 hour and write down on a piece of paper, because it's easier to have it right in front of you rather than electronically where it's on a computer or your phone or whatever, and write down people that you know that you would like to approach about the business. And then you go and for each person, put a star next to them for each one of these things. Is that person ambitious? Are they dissatisfied with their job? Are they entrepreneurial? Are they competitive? Are they open-minded? And then go and whoever has the most stars, those are the ones that you approach. So I'll say it again, ambitious, dissatisfied, entrepreneurial, competitive, and open-minded. Excuse me. But then you would go and just reach out to them. One second.
No worries, take your time there. I
Swallowed
did
wrong.
that last week. Now it's you this week.
Yeah. But you know, to start off the conversation, don't start with business right away. Just especially if you haven't talked to them in a while, just reach out and start a conversation. Hey, how's it going? What are you up to these days? And you know, if you ask them what they're doing, business or, work-wise or business-wise, they're going to ask you the same thing, and it gives you an opportunity to bring it up. So it makes it a fairly simple thing. For anybody who is on my team, whether you're personally sponsored or downline, I'm always available. If you want me to work with you to go and call these people, I'm open to doing that. So just reach out to me. But anyways, so that's just a small tip on just go and reach out to people and start a conversation. But the other thing that Ellen and I were talking about is May is Small Business Month. And then this actually happens to be Small Business Week, which is May 4th through the 10th. And the official Small Business Day is the 10th, which is Saturday. So, a suggestion for you, one of those lives that you do, give a shout out to a small business owner that you appreciate or value their business and just give them some recognition for what they've been doing. You can do it for a lot of them. Or if you don't want to do it live, you can do a post and just recommend their business. And by doing so, you can help them, and in return, they're going to be more open to helping you. But it's always, create goodwill, basically, and, help other people because small business owners are hurting right now and they could really use any help that they can get. So,
Amen.
anyways, I tried to make that quick for you, Ellen.
Yeah, you did great. You did great. So thanks, Harlequin, and always very good points all the way around. So before we wrap up, guys, do you have any questions? Is there anything, any challenges that you're running into through building your businesses? Are you taking advantage of the opportunity calls that we have on Tuesday and Thursday night? Tuesday night is our founder and CEO, David Rutz, doing the business opportunity from his perspective. In the past 2 Thursdays in a row, we've had two of our young guns, as David puts it, with McGuire and Nick doing the business opportunity presentation. Nick's in his 20s, and I'm sure McGuire is too. Do you know how old McGuire is?
I believe he's also in his 20s.
Yeah, so we're just getting a little bit of young blood into DAC. Many of us are older and more mature, where we've been in the business for a while, but it's good to see these young guys out here talking about their excitement about DAC. So, anybody got any questions or concerns about anything that's going on, or questions about services that you may not have an opportunity to get answered during the week because you're working or have other things going on while we have the DAC Zooms? One chance
I've
or
got
another.
I have a quick question, if that's all
Yeah,
right.
sure. Yeah.
So
Hey, Guy, how are you tonight?
good. Thanks, Ellen.
Good.
Uh, so the question I have is, as I've looked through some of the posts on the DAC Facebook page, also inside the agent repository, I've seen that we do have some posts that include some customer testimonials. But kind of going back to the other part of this business and building our team, recruiting additional agents, do we by chance have any sort of repository or location where agents can, put in their wins, right, and create agent testimonials that, could also be used by other agents to help market the opportunity? I'm just kind of curious if that's something that's existing or maybe is not, or maybe it's being thought about.
Yeah, absolutely. Great question. And that is a work in process,
Okay.
actually. And that is something that David has been requesting. He started that request last Monday with our leadership call, asking that agents do that and post it in the DAC Facebook group. Okay, where you can go in and create those videos yourself. Other agents posting their successes, whether it be a customer testimonial or about building their business, but that's really the place in the agent Facebook group. I will say this too, as you're looking and reading stuff in there, Sometimes we'll see people asking questions in the Facebook group, and then well-meaning agents will go in and try to answer questions. They're not always accurate what those answers are, because sometimes somebody will ask a question about a service and another agent who's plugged into the calls may answer, but it's not always 100%. So whatever you get out of that Facebook group, take the successes and take the shared testimonials out of there. But if it's a specific question that is product related or commission related or something on those lines, you may want to take it with a grain of salt, depending on whether it comes from one of our support team or someone like Harlequin or myself giving an answer, or whether it's a random agent giving their answer, because again, they're not always accurate. Did that answer your question there, Guy? As again, it's a work in
Yeah,
progress.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, I was wondering if you like, apart from the Facebook page, if perhaps we might host it in like a school forum, the SKOOL forum, like a lot of businesses do, having a school community.
Yeah.
That'd be
Yeah,
kind of
we don't have that right now. David's been talking about a learning management system, or a LMS, that is coming on board here very soon. We'd hope to have it live by the end of April, but that didn't happen yet. But he said it's coming here in the next week or so. He's going to be rolling it out in a small scale to a handful of agents so that we can troubleshoot whatever's going on, and then he's going to go company wide with it. So something that on those lines that you're asking for may be a part of that LMS system that's coming.
perfect.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep. Yeah, you bet. Thank you. And thank you for your question and comments. Appreciate you using your video tonight too. I always love seeing our agents in
Yeah.
person when
Can I
someone.
add
Yeah,
something to that,
absolutely. Go
Ellen?
ahead.
One thing on the group or in the Facebook group, there are a few of us that have been designated as a group expert. So if it says group expert next to their name, then pretty much they're always correct. Although we are human and we sometimes make mistakes, but we try. Um, the other thing is that Wade sometimes goes and shares different fundings that have happened in the previous week, and you can go ahead and take those. If somebody posts a video in the Facebook group, because it's a private group, you won't be able to share that video. So you'll have to go and take that information, and you can go and say, hey, we have funded this type of business for X amount of money. And, because as a whole, yes, we have done it. It may not necessarily be you or in your personal team, but we, as David Allen Capital, have funded a client doing this. But if you go back and look at some of Wade's older trainings, he'll usually go and he will list different businesses that have gotten funded recently.
Excellent. Good point. Thank you. I see Natafia has a hand up. Hey, Natafia, how are you doing tonight? Good to see you again.
Good. Hi, how you doing? I'm good. And
Good.
to Guy, I guess you were referring to testimonials, right? Because that was one of my questions, right? Because I don't have my own. So
Yeah, I was referring to agent
always
testimonials.
here, right? Like, because like you said, David had said the other day that we could say us as a company, because it's the company and the funds that we gave, or am I saying that correctly? Okay. So I just want to just recap that real quick. So basically we can use other testimonies. I understand we're not videos, but testimonies, right? As we as a whole.
Exactly.
And the other question is, as far as the credit pull, the business, I'm not sure if that makes a difference. Is it like, soft pull and hard pull with the business? How is
Oh,
that?
great question. Yeah. So we use the business owner's personal FICO score, and it's always a soft credit pull. The
Oh,
only exception to that is if you have a business owner that qualifies for Giggle, which is our smaller instant funding partner. They're looking for those businesses that are doing 3,000 or more in personal or business revenue each month. Giggle, of course, is looking at 1099 revenue. They'll even fund business owners that have personal accounts. Essentially, if the business is doing less than 15,000 a month and they're operating through a business or personal account, if it's less than $15,000 a month, they're going over to Giggle, and Giggle will do a hard credit pull before they do the final funding. But if your client is doing over 15,000 a month and is operating through a business checking account, we're going to do a soft credit pull every time we're doing a soft pull of the business owner's FICO. The only exception to that would be if the lenders are looking at something that just kind of doesn't look right. They may say, hey, we want to do a hard pull so that they're getting the full report. They will always let the business owner know that. So
Yeah, that's good.
assume it's a soft FICO. We do not use the business credit score. In fact, most businesses do not have a credit score in the Dun & Bradstreet or any of that. So that's why we use the business owner's FICO score. Because when it comes down to it, business owners is signing for personal responsibility of paying back the money that they borrow, and we're looking at their reputation for whether they're going to be credit worthy or not. So that's the direction that we go on that.
And mentioning Giggle, I realize it says Giggle is not available in New York because I am in New York.
Yeah.
With me being in New York, and for instance, I do plan on visiting Florida. Now, if the business is in Florida, I can still do Giggle with them, even though I'm in New York, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
It's all based on where the business is located. So if that business is located in New York or California, Giggle is not an option for them. And
Mhm.
speaking of Giggle, today David talked about it on our leadership Zoom, and he talks about this frequently, that those clients that qualify for Giggle, meaning they're doing 3,000 to 15,000 operating on a business or a personal account, or if they have a personal account, they're always going to go to Giggle if they've got at least 3,000 in revenue. It's going to take you as much or more time as an independent agent to try to get questions answered for that business owner that is applying. And the income that you earn on that versus our bigger funding is very, very small. I mean, like $20. So that's really not the market that you want to be focusing on. Sometimes it's great to be able to go help people and say, hey, I may have a solution for you. But by the time the business gets approved, they're typically going to get approved for about 25% of their monthly revenue. It doesn't end up being a whole lot of money for that business owner, and just a small commission back to you. So that's not the market that you want to focus on. We all need to be focusing on that 15,000 and up, on the businesses that do have a business checking account. Because when you're focusing on those larger revenue businesses, those are the ones that are more likely to get approved, and they're more likely to accept the offer when they do get approved through the funding partners. So, all right.
Okay. Okay, one more quick question with you
Sure.
saying that. Now, I mean, I guess I said I'll try to service whoever, I can. I also decide I might go with a niche, something that's like fun, where I'm thinking of, this is what they can do, because once you get a loan, the idea is to pay it back, but what's your plan, right?
Mhm.
So, the thing is, I was thinking, okay, well, how would I know of what a business is making? Do you ask them like, so do you make $15,000 a month? No, I'm just saying. I wouldn't do that, but I'm just asking. I was just thinking. I mean, I would like to be able to help everybody, but I understand what you mean. You don't want to focus on the $20. But I mean, if they're there, I will still help them. But
Yeah, so if you're just talking to people in general and offering your funding, you might want to be more informational on what it is we're offering. That we do revenue-based funding, for businesses that are doing at least 3,000 a month or more, then we can typically get them instant or next day funding. But what I always do is look for those businesses that are in an industry where their monthly revenue is larger. Specifically, if you're looking at businesses that are in a retail location where they're paying rent and a leasehold in maybe a strip shopping center or something, if they have a storefront, most likely they're doing more than $15,000 a month, but otherwise they wouldn't be able to afford the rent where they are. Also, businesses that are doing consistent retail sales where they've got multiple transactions a day. They're doing daily deposits into their bank account. Those are going to be some of those that are higher. But back to what Harlequin said, referencing Wade Cordell, our Wednesday funding call. Wade runs our Bank Breezy funding partner, and he's really the one that talks with the majority of our funding clients. And he always gives tips on the top industries and the top niches. So go through those. His last couple of weeks, he's done screenshots of the top industries to focus on. And
Okay.
I appreciate your heart in wanting to help people. But again, it goes to, we can't help everybody, right?
Yes.
And we want to spend our time helping people that we're most likely to be able to help, and they're most likely going to benefit from what we have to offer, and also is going to reward you more for your time spent there. So
Makes sense.
if you got anything to add to that, that'd be great. Thanks, Natapia. Again, good
Thank
to see
you.
and thanks for your involvement, your interaction. I see you asking questions on our corporate Zooms too. You were here last week, and
Yes.
that's what it's all about: getting involved, diving in, asking questions, and then having conversations. Because the more conversations you have, whether it be a business owner or someone that you're trying to recruit and offer the opportunity to, that's really a key part of everyone's learning experience. The more conversations you're having, the more you learn by saying and doing and being involved. So thank you.
And thank you for being here.
Yeah, you bet. Harlequin, anything to add to that?
Yeah, well, just you were asking about who you should focus on. Whenever you talk to them, let them know, because you live in New York, especially if you're talking to New York-based businesses, just tell them, hey, in New York, our minimum monthly revenue requirement is $15,000, and you have to have a business checking account. But yeah, I mean the top industries are construction, trucking, retail, restaurant, and medical. So those are the top five.
Yep. And with that, if you pick a niche that you're comfortable with, whether it be a business that, whether you have experience working as an employee, maybe you've been a business owner, but something that you're comfortable with. Like I was in the restaurant space for over 30 years in the bar and local restaurant space, and then with pizza restaurants. So it's really super convenient and easy for me to have a conversation with a restaurant owner. I know what they experience. Same thing with limousine, but my goodness, with my multiple hats of the businesses that I've been involved with over the years, I can talk to just about any business owner. But pick a niche and really get honed in on what those businesses struggles are, and then you'll be able to speak in their language and be able to find those talking points that and also know which ones are doing the revenue that you're looking for. Okay. All right,
Okay.
everybody.
Thank you.
Last questions before we wrap up.
Just a plug on the it kind of goes along the line of the testimonials, but as Harlequin, you mentioned those top five industries: construction, restaurants, trucking, medical, and retail. Um, and maybe we already have this in the Agent Resource Center, but if we had some use cases on those industries, like how are the construction businesses using those funds? I don't know that we necessarily track that since there's no restriction on use of funds, but like, trucking and medical, like a medical clinic, why are they reaching out for funding, right? What are they applying it to? For me, that would be helpful in crafting some of my marketing messaging.
Oh, I can say one thing. I use ChatGPT to make scenarios and pain points.
That's a great idea. That's a great suggestion. Thank you.
So that's what I did. I did the scenario, give me scenarios of what their pain points is, and basically how I can help. How am I going to help them? Say, okay, I can't remember off the top of my head, but I did use ChatGPT and I asked for scenarios and the pain points.
Excellent
Of
suggestion.
what they would do with the funding. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep. And David just talked
You're welcome.
about being X's version of Chat GPT. He did an example of that a couple of weeks ago, which was really great. So you might actually go to Grok and say, hey, can you give me an example of what a small business owner in the landscape or a landscape business owner might do with alternative working capital? And it might give you some great stories there that you could share. But great points, and we're going to see more of those as we see agents coming online and doing the requested testimonials that David has been asking for. So
Yeah. Well,
great
and
stuff.
if I can also add to that, well, one thing, Grok is grok.com, but Wade a lot of times goes, and whenever he goes over the fundings that have happened over the last week, he tells us what it is that they have used the money for.
Awesome. All right, guys. Well, thank you, Guy and Natafia, for your interaction, and Harlequin always for being here as a co-host each week. Couldn't do it without all of you, and with all of you, we grow together. I hope that you'll take advantage of our team building call tomorrow at 11:30, that David goes through some tips and pointers there. If you can't be there live on that, then certainly drive traffic, drive your guest invitations to our live business opportunity tomorrow night at 7:30 Eastern Time, daczoom.com. And then again on Thursday, where we've got these live meetings for people to come and see in person from our CEO and founder. So thanks, everyone. We appreciate you showing up tonight, showing up for your business, and hope you have a great evening.